Hey, what's up, everybody? I am Jason, and you're watching my channel, Micro Investor, the channel where I pretty much talk about whatever stocks I want to talk about. And in this video, I'm going to talk about which tech stocks do I think are the best investment for 2019. Real quick, I also want to say that this is just my opinion. I am not advising anybody to do what I am doing. But if you like this video, I do recommend subscribing because that would be awesome. So there are several factors that help me make my decision here. One being the risk of the stock. If the stock is at a cheaper price, why is it cheaper? And what steps is that company doing to help improve that company? Also, the stock's performance over time, the history of the stock over years, not just why that stock was just recently up and down, but the whole history of that stock, as well as the profitability of that company as a whole and the history of that profitability. So the first three stocks in the good category, I think, are the more conservative stocks, in my opinion, for 2019. That is going to be Intel, Cisco Systems, and Google. I think that those companies are not going to be super volatile. I think that they're the more safer ones of the bunch in the good category. Now let's go say what's more of a risk that we're going to possibly have a much better reward for 2019. So I think Microsoft is a very easy one to say that possibly will have a good reward in 2019. Next will be Amazon. I think that Amazon, it went down a bit there in 2018. It kind of had a bit of a roller coaster there, but I think it's just going to be back on track for that large growth back in 2019 as things eventually settle down with changes in the economy. Next, I'm going to go with let's go with Facebook. I think Facebook, it took a big beating in 2018, but I think that company's be back on track in 2019. Instagram has been killing it, and they have a good amount of new products that they've launched, and I'm very curious to see where those products take them. But all in all, I think that Facebook is on the right track now to get into some good profitability here. And some good growth in other aspects that they're working on, as well as like Oculus and all that stuff. So I think that this is a good time for Facebook. Next, let's go with the Chinese stocks. Let's say Baidu, Alibaba, JD.com. I think that 2019 is a good year for those stocks. I think that the tariffs and everything that really hurt those. If that all settles down and things get back on track, I really think that those companies will really rally. So Alibaba, JD, Baidu, I think that those stocks will have a great 2019. All right, the last stock in the good category is a stock that I think is going to have the best year in 2019, and that is Apple. Apple stock is, as cheap as it was back in 2017. All of its earnings, everything the stock has done in 2018 has been completely wiped out. This company has been showing phenomenal numbers still, but the sales in China have been hurting projections by like analysts and stuff. But when things like the tariffs settle down and some other claims by another company in China also gets back on track. There's been a little bit of a patent issue there in China that another cell phone maker has claimed. So when things get back on track there in China, I think that Apple will just soar again. A lot of Apple's been doing a lot of changes with services, and their services have really been growing. So I think that that's a very big potential as a great investment for Apple, to be very bullish on it, and that's what I'm doing right now. Now I want to get to the stocks that I'm going to avoid in 2019. So to start off with, I'm going to go with Netflix. Now, I hope for a phenomenal year for Netflix, but I have a feeling that Netflix isn't gonna perform as well as a lot of people want it to. You know, a little while ago, Netflix was like at $400 a share, but now it's kind of scaled back a bit, and I think that that's good. I think that the company was way too overvalued, but at the same time right now I still kind of feel that it's overvalued, and there's a lot of people coming into their market, and I think that they're also going to they're going to max out real quick on the amount of users that they can get, while they're going to be spending so much money on content, you know, because they have to keep content coming in. Now, I hope that Netflix does rally eventually here, because it is a stock that I would be interested in investing into, but I don't think at this moment in 2019 that it's going to be a stock that is going to be worth it for me to invest into. All right, next is IBM. IBM is a stock that I was actually interested in buying here, but you know, with them acquiring Red Hat, but IBM's debt is starting to really look unattractive to me. And now, with looking at the performance of the stock, the decision to buy Red Hat doesn't seem like it went really well with shareholders, and that stock has just still been going down into this new year. So now I'm going to actually avoid buying into IBM. Not that I don't think it's going to be a good buying opportunity here in the future, but at this moment, with all the debt, I'm actually going to avoid IBM. All right, the next stocks I'm going to avoid is AMD and Micron. I think like AMD needs to refigure out its place of where that stock needs to be, and Micron, that stock seems to trend every 2 years in a little roller coaster there, and I think that that 2020 is probably a better year for Micron. If you just check the history there, Micron it kind of just goes in waves there, and right now it's just on a downward slope. And I just don't see it having a good 2019. All right, the next stocks I'm avoiding are Twitter and Snap. I think that like Twitter is kind of just like hanging on there with several users. I don't really know why it's still so popular. They haven't really done much to advance that, and I think that it's going to really show in 2019. And also Snap, I think the same thing with them. They're really losing a lot of users to like Facebook, and that stock has really been hurting ever since it did its IPO. That stock has just been tanking, and I don't know where it's going to recover. I don't know where it's going to hit its bottom, but it never really reached anywhere. It's just kind of just gone down, and the users have been slowing on both Twitter and Snap. So I don't really know where those stocks will go. So they're stocks that I'm going to stay away from in 2019. All right, so the stock that I'm going to stay away from the most, that I don't even know why it's so popular that so many people like talking about it, and that is Nvidia. I think that that Nvidia is way overvalued still, and it's just it's been just dropping like crazy lately, and I personally wouldn't buy into Nvidia until it hits like $45. At the moment, I think Nvidia is way overvalued. They have such a huge surplus of just chips sitting there. It rallied for a while there, but if you just look at the history of Nvidia, like that was an unnatural spike, and you really have to use other factors when you buy into companies. Like if you had Nvidia and you hopped on that train when it was riding up there, and you didn't sell in June of 2018, then I don't know what to tell you, because I don't think it's going to be going back up there. You got really lucky, and I think that stock's going to drop back down to $45, or lower. That's the more area where that stock price should be, in my opinion. So that's just a list I made there. I know there's plenty of other tech stocks I could have talked about, and I just didn't get to. I didn't write them down. If you have different opinions, feel free to write them in the comments section. I'm actually really interested in what people have to say, and write whatever stocks you want that you think are a better investment, or where you think maybe my opinion might be wrong. I'm open to anything. Like, this is just a community here. So please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I have new videos coming out on my channel all the time. Thank you for watching.